Thank you so much for joining us for the Zeigler Institute for Professional Development virtual information session. My name is Tom Kresh. I am our Director for Communications here in the admissions office. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to watch us, whether you're watching live or watching the recording. Again, we appreciate you making time to learn more about the ZIPT program. There is a lot to be learned about the program. I know it's a tremendous experience. And I am joined by Miss Becky Toth. Becky, if you don't mind introducing yourself for the group.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Becky Toth, and I am the director of the Zeigler Institute for Professional Development. Happy to be here tonight.
Great, thank you, thank you. The event should take probably 30 or 40 minutes. And this, again, this is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel and on the ZIP program website. And again, there should be a lot of good information here. So I know we're all really excited to learn more about the student experience in our ZIP program. But before we go any further, Becky, would you mind telling us a little bit about your background and your experience before coming to Commonwealth?
Sure. Yes. I spent a lot of years working in advancement in higher ed,
Mhm.
doing some fundraising, some alumni relations work. I worked for Susquehanna University and Luzerne County Community College, so a bunch of places locally.
Mhm.
But I came to Commonwealth University a couple of years ago in orientation and student success,
Mhm.
and spent a couple of years doing that. And then when this position opened up, I knew that it was a good match for my experience and my skills. And I love Zipped, and
Mhm.
I think it's a great opportunity for our students, and I'm happy to be in this role.
That is great. That is great. So we will go ahead and jump into the presentation. So the first slide here is, really just talks about from a very high level overview, almost kind of like the mission statement, the mantra of our ZIP program. Becky, would you mind walking us through this?
Absolutely. So the Ziegler Institute for Professional Development is a unique, comprehensive educational experience that builds personal and professional skills necessary for career success. So we want our graduates to gain a competitive edge in the job market or acceptance into graduate school. So through learning, experience, and practice, our ZIP students are able to demonstrate soft skills and professionalism that helps them stand out. Many employers who have hired our Zipped graduates have told us that their professionalism and confidence were the things that helped them land the job. The program is voluntary. Interested students can easily sign up and get started, and it is free. The ZIP program is funded by alumni Terry and Joanne Ziegler, who recognize the need to expose students to all of the aspects of business, including those things you learn outside of the classroom.
Yeah, and Becky, you hit on a good topic there where just having your degree, just being a good student, that's not enough to make you stand out on the job market, right? Like that's kind of the minimum expectation. So the question becomes, what are you doing in addition to, getting good grades and being a good student and having your college degree? And that's kind of where the ZIP program steps in to help. It's kind of like finishing, it's like business finishing school almost.
Absolutely, right. Because there is a lot of competition out there for jobs,
Mhm.
and even for internships before you graduate. And so the ZIP program is going to help you have that edge and maybe have you help you stand out um, more so than the other students.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one point of clarification, Becky. So the ZIPT program, is it only for students that are in the Ziegler College of Business?
It is. It is designed for business students.
Mhm.
If a student in another major came to me and asked if they could do the program, absolutely, we wouldn't turn them away.
Mhm.
There are similar types of activities for other majors, but the ZIP program is really specific for business students.
Excellent. Great. Thank you for that. Again, from a high level overview, could you just walk us through the program and what the experience might include?
Yes. So the ZIP program, it is that opportunity to develop professional skills outside the classroom. And that is done through high impact experiences, things like dining etiquette training, resume writing, interview skills, networking, career expos, career road trips, and a whole lot more. So we offer these high impact experiences all year long, and then we have a conference every fall.
Mhm. So Becky, you talked about high impact experiences for anyone where this may be their first time learning about subjects like this. Can you explain what high impact means?
Yes, so these are experiences where you're kind of immersed in learning. Um, it's um, it's hands-on, it's very impactful because you're learning through doing. And so we want to expose you to as much of that as possible.
Yeah, it's the type of skill acquisition that you're going to need to be successful. And honestly, the ZIP program, like one of the ways I've always looked at it to a certain degree, so like it expedites the process of you becoming professional. You know, it's like you're hitting the fast track. You could learn this the hard way and lose opportunities as you make mistakes, or like anyone can learn from their own mistakes, right? Like the ZIP program is going to help you learn from, some of our more seasoned professionals like yourself to be able to apply these things. And that's one of the benefits too, is like you're going to save yourself a lot of um, problems down the road by participating in these things. Again, I'm just going to get resume writing, interviewing, network. Like those are all things that you're not going to learn from the book. Like you've got to experience it. And a lot of times when we experience it is through live situations, whereas the ZIP program is going to simulate some of that. So you have an opportunity to learn a little bit faster and in probably a safer space.
Yes, I often share the story of myself. So I didn't have a zipped program when I was in college. I learned a lot of these things much, much later. And I would say that was learning it the hard way, right? It's learning it on the job. This allows you to really learn all of that before you even enter the job force. So a really great opportunity to get started early.
Well, and again, as I'm looking at some of the bullet points, it's also going to help you get a better first job. Like the first time you're going to apply some of these things in like a real life situation is when you're applying for jobs as you're a senior, you're applying for internships as a junior. And it's going to help you get a better position. It's going to help you stand out more. So this is almost kind of like an investment in your future career. But that is a great point. So then, Becky, could you talk a little bit about some of the more specific professional development opportunities that exist?
Yes. So some examples of our high impact experiences, as I call them. Um, First of all, the annual business conference that happens every fall in November. We also have what we call career expos, where different employers come to campus and you can meet with them, learn about what opportunities they offer. A lot of those business expos are housed right here in Sutliff Hall, where you'll be taking most of your classes in the fall and the spring. We have an accounting and finance expo, a management, supply chain marketing, technology and analytics expo, a sports management expo, and more. We partner with the Office of Alumni and Professional Engagement to make these employer expos possible. We also have dining etiquette sessions. We do both your typical dinner as well as cocktail reception etiquette. So they're a little bit different. Community service volunteer work is one of the opportunities. Mock interviews, resume and LinkedIn labs, real networking opportunities with our local Chamber of Commerce and with alumni and employers, and then membership in professional clubs and organizations.
Mhm. Yeah, one of the things that I think is sometimes easily looked over is things like resume writing, LinkedIn profiles, because again, one of the advice I wish I could have that I would have provided for myself years ago when I was a first year, second year student in college at Bloomsburg, um, was start to document what you do as you're going through it. The mistake that I made, and I see a lot of students make, is like they first work on a resume when they're a senior in college, when they're getting ready to apply. And it's like, geez, what did I do freshman year? What did I do my sophomore year? And like it's so much more valuable to keep track of those things along the way. And it seems like what they're also taught is how to develop kind of like a personal brand, and I'll see some of the LinkedIn profiles for the Zip students. It's like, oh, that's pretty good. Like I should probably add that to my LinkedIn profile. So that's great to see as well. Becky, could you talk about the etiquette The business etiquette sessions. What might something like that include?
Yes. So, again, this is one of those concepts that I didn't learn until much later in life.
Mhm.
So think about it if you're at a dinner, okay, it's maybe a work dinner after you've been hired, and it's fancy. So they've got all of the silverware. There's four forks. How do you know which fork to start with? How do you know, to put your napkin on your lap? Should you do that? So we work with our dining services here to teach basic etiquette, which you may need in the business world when you're in the workforce. And then I mentioned um, cocktail reception etiquette. So
Mhm.
this is when you are at a business function, you're not sitting down for a meal, but you might have your glass of wine and you have your hors d'oeuvres. And, you know, how do you navigate holding things in both of your hands while talking to people and making introductions and doing a handshake? So we take you through that experience as well.
Mhm. That's excellent. And then the career expo. So the career expos, again, what might a career expo look like? So students walk in, I'm assuming they're probably dressed professionally, they have resumes. Are they interviewing on the spot? Are they just chatting with prospective employers? Like what happens there?
Sometimes they are. So they differ a little bit. The basic principle of a career expo is just to expose you to different companies so you can learn about them.
Mhm.
But oftentimes, as you're meeting with them, so you might go table to table. It looks very much like maybe when you go to a college fair. So each employer has their own table, and you can go table to table and meet them. Maybe they'll give you a business card or you'll give them your business card. Sometimes I have seen them say, "Can you come back this afternoon? I want to interview you today."
Mhm.
So it's just really making those connections.
Sure. And then for community service, what are some examples of some of the community service options that exist for students in Zip?
So it can be any community service that that you're interested in. One of the times that many of our students gain their community service hours is we have something called the big event. And that is one Saturday in early April. And um, Commonwealth University students here at Bloomsburg go into the community, and they might rake some people's yards, maybe, you know, at an elderly person's home, or, you know, do a cleanup on the street, um, mow some grass, whatever that might be. So a lot of students get quite a few hours on the day of the big event. But if you volunteer at maybe the Cat Cafe or um
Ronald McDonald House or,
yes, yes, any of those things would count.
excellent, excellent. Thank you for that. Um, so can you walk us through, because I know you did mention that the ZIP program is voluntary. Students don't have to enroll in it, right?
Yeah,
But if they do choose to enroll, there are expectations. And can you walk us through some of the expectations that exist?
sure. So the Zipped has core requirements, and those total up to 50 points. In order to graduate as a Zipped Elite grad, so graduate from the program, you need to complete all 50 points. And those points consist of the following things. We mentioned dining etiquette. So you just need to go to one of those. If you go to more than one, obviously you gain more skills and you get more points. You get points for going to a LinkedIn lab or a resume lab where you get some professional help on your profile or your resume. Mock interviews, and there's lots of opportunities to do a pretend interview with alumni, and that would get you a point. We give points for personal development work in the areas of personal wellness, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Community service falls under that category, and any other volunteer work. So these are the things that really develop you as a person. Another area is networking opportunities, and that could be with alumni or employers. Career expos. After you meet with so many employers at an expo, you get a point for that. If you are in a club or organization, and we have many of them here at Commonwealth, you would get a point for that. And if you're a leader in a club, maybe you're the president, you would get some more points. If you attend our annual Zipped conference and you participate in a panel discussion, or you go to the keynote speaker, you would get a point for each event that you attend. Then we have an area called professional development, and that covers things like attendance at a professional conference, career-related competitions, and professional trainings. Students can even earn bonus points for internships or a study abroad experience. And so overall, students in the ZIP program earn points for each high impact experience that they complete.
That's great. Great. Thank you. So as we look at the student experience, a lot of what students are probably going to be doing and working on will be within kind of the brick and mortar of the Zeigler College of Business. But what are some of the things that may happen, again, beyond the classroom, like the slide is asking here?
Yeah, so here you'll see a couple pictures from this past spring, from the spring semester. And at the top is a picture of some of our students who got pinned. So we have these little pins that say zipped, and you earn them after you get through more than half of the core requirements. And so these students got to come and get pinned, and it was kind of a special ceremony. The next picture down was a career road trip that we took to Clark Associates, and we got to tour the facility, including the Webstaurant store. Really fun career road trip down and back in one day. And then at the bottom is a picture from our mocktail reception, which was an etiquette training, again on those career receptions, as opposed to a dinner. So just some examples. It's fun. I try to plan as much as I can throughout the semester. You don't have to do them all, but you have at least a lot of opportunities that you can choose from.
Yeah, I know in previous years I've seen students going, like one year they went to the Yankee Stadium. I feel like I see trips all the time. What are some of the other places that you might go on a road trip?
Yes, I do remember hearing about road trips to New York City.
Okay.
Because that can be a lot of students, a lot of our students have never gone to the big city. So we spend a day there, meet with alumni, go to places that maybe people have been hoping to go to, and really enmesh themselves in the city
Mhm.
and learn. And so that would be another example. We're always changing it up. So I'm looking forward to what we might be planning for the fall.
Yeah, and that's great to hear because again, a lot of students they may start at their freshman year. All right, so they're in a freshman year,
Yes.
sophomore year, junior year, senior year. So the experiences are not repetitive, and they have a
Correct.
chance to have a wider breadth of opportunities. The longer they participate, the more they'll get out of it. So that's great to hear. And then there's the ZIP conference, and I know this is kind of like the capstone, if you will. Can you talk about the ZIP conference? I know this is a huge deal. I know the university is always like humming with activity when the ZIP conferences is taking place.
Yes. So our annual Zipped conference happens every fall. It is usually the first week of November, and it's a 2-day event. This fall will be the 15th year that we've had the Zipped conference. And so we're going to have a special 15-year anniversary event. It features over 100 alumni, Commonwealth University alumni. So we bring them back to campus so that they can meet with students, and there's a lot of education that goes on over those 2 days. So students, any business students, can participate in panel sessions led by alumni who work in the field of business. They can also participate in mock interviews during the conference, resume reviews with alumni employers. The conference features a keynote speaker and then several networking opportunities over lunch and dinner. So this is a great time to make those connections. 70% of people get hired because they know somebody. So this is your chance to build your network and get to know our alumni. We even have a speed networking opportunity. So kind of like speed dating. This is your chance to meet as many people as you can over the course of an hour. And you will have a short period of time to introduce yourself. So students learn how to quickly summarize who they are and what is special about them. And that's something that you're going to need to know as you start doing interviews.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So then again, I know for students, this is a commitment, right? They're in class, they may have a job. They have extracurricular activities that they're clubs and organizations. So this is going to be time. It's going to be work. It's going to be effort. What's in it for them?
Yes. So students, again, I mentioned they graduate as zipped elite graduates, and that means they've completed all 50 points, maybe more than 50 points, but they've completed all of the requirements. So
Mhm.
those students would get exclusive business networking invitations. So invitations to events to make connections that maybe other people don't get invited to. A certificate, a graduation stole. So this is something that students like to wear during commencement. A notation on their transcript, which is great for employers to see. We do an awards ceremony and breakfast the Friday before commencement. And then our top 3-point earners every semester are eligible for professional development grant money. So if you have to pay for certain things for that first job, you might be able to get some of that reimbursed. It really is a great program. You mentioned the time involved, and there is time involved, but you can start early, spread it out over 4 years, and it really is simple to do. We try to make it so that all students can complete it. You could do it in less than 4 years, but if you spread it out, um, much easier to complete all of the requirements.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. And then for the Ziegler College of Business, you've heard us talk a lot about this, and in particular about the ZIP program. But just a little background information on the Ziegler College of Business. It is AACSB accredited, so that is important because that speaks to the rigor and the excellence of the Ziegler College of Business. Only 5% of business schools across the country, actually no, across the globe, carry that accreditation. So the Ziegler College of Business is one that is elite. Um, we have 8 different majors. Within those 8 different majors, there's 16 different concentrations. So again, this may include things like sports management and supply chain management and marketing and accounting and professional sales. And so there's a number of different programs there. Then there's 20 different minors. And what's really nice is a lot of our business degrees, they make it easy to do things like double major or pick up multiple minors or concentrations or the fast track MBA program. So if you plan your academic career right and you start early and you start thinking about these things now, you can maximize that window of time that you spend in college and be efficient and walk away with a double major, a major and a minor, or a major and start working on your fast track MBA. There are 6 different grad programs. And that is something that we see a lot more students engaging in now as well, is again, they are frequently at a point in their life as young adults where they don't have as much responsibility as what you will gain as you get older. Typically they don't have a family, they don't have a home, or they have less responsibility at that point in their life. So what we are seeing a lot more are students that are completing their bachelor's degree and jumping right into their master's degree to try to say, look, I'm already in school mode. So I'm just going to do this now before, again, I get older and start to take on more responsibility. So there's a lot of opportunities that exist there. And through a new policy at the university, students can start taking graduate level courses their senior year of college. So they can even kind of jumpstart that. So that's always great to hear as well. And then there's 20 different student clubs and organizations along the way. So when you kind of add up all these numbers here, you have a lot of opportunity to get what you want out of your college experience. And then along the way, you'll have people like Becky and your faculty advisor and your student club advisor who can help provide guidance. That way you're not leaving your future up to a Google search, or you're not just, again, just working your way through this process through traditional trial and error. And I think that's one of the things that really sets our program apart is, again, our team like Becky, who are like here to help you climb the mountain, along the way. Be like, no, we've done this before. I've been there before. You might want to try this instead. Or you may not have thought about this. How about trying this? And I think that guidance, that consultation that you get along the way ends up making a big difference. So we're really, really proud of our Zeigler College of Business, and our students are always really, really successful. Yeah. There's a number of different ways that you can learn more about the program, or any of our academic programs, I should say. So we will be having major showcase days throughout the fall and spring semester. There will be a number of virtual information sessions about individual programs, both undergraduate and graduate. We will be talking about individual majors at all of our open houses and accepted student days. Social media is always a great place to go. In fact, I know Becky, Zipped is very active on social media too. So for anyone who's watching live or watching the recording, I would strongly recommend following Zip to kind of get a student's perspective of navigating their way through the process. And then we have our program websites that oftentimes kind of act as a repository for all of this information aggregated into one location. So there's a lot of ways that you can dive deeper into the programs on at a time that may be more convenient for you. So just some open Q&A here. I do see we have a great question in here, one that I know a lot of people are probably wondering. Is it harder to participate in the Zipped program as a student athlete? Are those experiences compatible?
They are. We have quite a few student athletes who are in the ZIP program, and I have a couple who are graduating this weekend. We do try to make it flexible so you can kind of work through this at your own pace and when the time is convenient for you. So, for example, the community service hours you can do when you are available. That could be maybe when you're not in season, or if you are in season, you can do it when it's convenient for you to do it. The events that we offer are at various times of the day. Some of them are on Zoom also, so you can participate from wherever you are. So we try to make it flexible. You get your points in Brightspace, which is a learning management system, which you'll be very familiar with because you may use it for a lot of your academic classes. And you can work through these things, like I said, on your own, at your own pace.
That is great. Yeah, and one of the things that, because we have a lot of student athletes on all of our campuses, and one of the things that we always make sure is that, again, whatever experience we're building, it's still compatible with being a student athlete. Like, for instance, I don't think we have any majors that are off that are not on the list of opportunities that student athletes can participate in. Zipped is a great example of that. Thank you. So, what social media platforms is the Zipped program available on?
So the three that we are most active on are Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
I would highly recommend liking and subscribing. I know I always follow and reshare. You guys do such a good job. And again, it provides kind of a window into the daily activities of Zipped. I know one of the questions we get, Becky, is when do a lot of these activities take place? Are they during the day, 8 to 4? Or are they oftentimes nights and weekends? Like, for students that are engaging in the ZIP program, when are they typically active in them?
So I try to mix it up so that because certain things are going to work better for certain people and others, may not. But a lot of the things we offer, like the etiquette training, is at night. So they're not during the day. But now the Husky road trip that we took to Clark Associates, that was on a Friday.
Sure.
And so oftentimes students will just ask their professors, is it okay if I would miss class on Friday to go to this opportunity for professional development? And usually the answer is, of course, that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's great. Roughly how many students are in the ZIP program right now? Just kind of a ballpark estimate. Is it like 10 or is it like 110?
It's just over 400.
Wow. Okay. All right, just over 400. So this is obviously a pretty popular program then. That's yeah, wow, that's a lot of people. I guess I wasn't expecting to hear that much. That's outstanding. Um, so again, another great question. So for students that are starting this upcoming fall semester or even in future semesters, how are they made aware of these opportunities? And when the ZIP program, I guess, is like open for enrollment, is this something that you'll be promoting then?
Yes, so great question. We do a couple of things. So I try to come into all of the intro to business classes
Mm.
to introduce the program there. We also, I have a couple of graduate assistants that work with me, and between the three of us, we like to have an information table in the lobby of Sutliff. And where you can stop by and ask us questions and we can share more information. We are also expanding this program this year onto the other two campuses. This is a Commonwealth University-wide program. I cannot always be present on the other two campuses, but I have a GA who's going to be present always on the Lock Haven campus. So really looking to make sure those opportunities are available there as well. And then we also do a weekly newsletter that all business students receive. So not just ZIP students, but all business students. And we will, every time you get that newsletter, it will remind you of how you can enroll in the program. And it will also tell you about opportunities that are coming up that very week to earn points.
Yeah, so I am not in the Ziegler College. You know, I've graduated from school, but even I subscribe to the Zift newsletter because it's just such a great way to learn more about what's happening. You guys do such a phenomenal job with that, so I just always look forward to getting those messages. Um, so is there a formal application process to join Zipt? So like if you're a hand raised and you're like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing, I want to be a part of this. What is the onboarding process like?
So right now it is just you would go to Brightspace,
Mhm,
you would search for Zipped,
mhm.
you would find that portal and you would join.
Okay.
I would like to institute something this fall though, where there is just like a one pager, you fill it
Mhm,
out so that I'm alerted that
mhm,
you are joining the program and we can then connect you with a graduate assistant to
mhm,
kind of do a quick little orientation to just kind of show you here are all the things you need to do. And this is how you would do them so that it's
mhm.
really seamless for the students.
Excellent. So, again, another frequent question that we get in admissions is, so there's travel involved, there's all these etiquette, dinners, there's a lot of different experience-based things. Is there any additional cost to the student? I seem to remember at the beginning you said that there's no additional cost to the student. Is that right? Okay.
Nope, nope. Everything again is funded mainly by Terry and Joanne Ziegler, who are the main philanthropic support of the
Mhm,
program, but then we have other sponsors too. So our conference is sponsored by a lot of alumni and employers. And so even the road trip that we took did not cost anything. The university provided the bus and the driver, and the employer provided a meal, and you know,
mhm.
I really cannot think of anything that would cost the student any money.
Yeah, there's very few barriers to this, um, which is tremendous. Um, so I know as students again, they're probably considering, do I want to join the ZIP program when I become a student? If you had any final advice, if you had any final guidance for prospective students that may be thinking about making the leap, what would you tell them?
I would say definitely consider joining. And if you have any hesitation, you can schedule a meeting with me or with
Hmm.
one of our grad assistants to talk about it, and make sure that it is something that you feel you can take on. But I think it is a tremendous opportunity. And I think that it's great that it is offered right here at Commonwealth University, and it's something special. You don't find it everywhere. And I think it's worth the time. I think it's very worth the time. And that in the end, you know, it's going to be the right thing for you and you're going to be glad that you had that experience.
Yeah, when I just again learning more about it throughout the course of your presentation, again, the word that kept coming up to me is like, again, this is an investment in your future career. And in this case, it's an investment that's not going to cost you any money, right? It's going to require effort and time, but again, it's going to expedite your future and get you to your destination a little bit faster. So that is truly outstanding. So great. Well, thank you, Becky. Thank you, everyone who's watching live or watching the recording. We appreciate it. We look forward to hearing from you in the future, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day.